Hi, Caspar on the 31st of January 2018, tasting a Southern French wine, red wine, 2016 Grenache Paradou. Pretty boggo grape variety you might think, although Grenache is having proper renaissance. Really, I think people are finding out just how fine Grenache can be. When I started in the wine trade, Grenache it was one of those grapes that was seen as being a producer of jug wine only, really, nothing particular to write home about. But I think at the top levels, it's always been recognised as being capable of producing something exceptionally fine, a la Château Pesquié in Château Pesquié and some certain other wines, but old vines and proper soils really required to make it anything special. But let's have a look at this. I think we are not far from Château Pesquié. I think this is actually, I'm going to have to find out more about it. Something tells me it's from quite a well-known Côte de Ventoux producer, but let's have a look. Anyway, Grenache, what do we know about it? Yeah, produces generally quite high alcohol wines, sun-loving variety, producing wines as well that tend to lose their colour really remarkably quickly in bottle, changing from red to more sort of orangey and generally paler colour. But let's have a look at this, see what we've got, heard good things about it. Pretty good depth of colour actually, good slightly purplish red colour. Gosh, and that could not express the grape variety more accurately, really. When one thinks of French Grenache, Spanish Garnacha, which is ostensibly the same grape, tends to have a character all its own, but and I believe it was originally a Spanish grape. But that's how it's a cakey. It's got a sort of fruit cake sort of mix to it, a sort of cream of cherry and plum with lots of spice, but sort of a sort of plum pudding kind of smell. It's a lovely thing to smell. It's got lovely purity, dark fruit, and then a lifted sort of spice aroma that gives it sort of direction and focus and definition. Well, it's almost a wine of two parts. It goes in the mouth, and for a moment one's sort of lulled into this false sense of security and thinking it's quite a sort of easy, cool, smooth sort of customer. And then about halfway through it just picks up all this sort of energy and structure and sort of powers away. The tannins are quite upright, really quite sort of nutty, slightly sort of dry core, which I'm not objecting to in any way. I'm not dry in a faulty way. Just they're very, very present and quite accented. Interesting note, like sort of charcoal or something like that. In terms of body, it's not enormous by any stretch, despite its 14% alcohol. It's got super acidity, and the acidity is welded onto that sort of tannic structure, and pushes through to a really long finish. It's far removed from those overblown, sun-drenched Grenaches that one can, if one wants to, taste pretty much every day of the week from the south of France. It's a wine of distinct direction and it's quite a direct thing in the mouth. It's got energy and shape, and as I say, good structure. It's even got a slight potpourri and smoke on the nose. Mm. I think for the money this is extremely good value, and really quite a sophisticated example. I think this is modern Grenache. I don't think you would have found a wine like this 25 years ago. I think this is people learning and understanding how to make the best of Grenache wines of definition and focus and class. You know, it's quite a classy thing. It's also very delicious, and I think I'd have that with food. I mean, it's not a wine to drink on its own. Remember those tannins I was talking about. I mean, they leave you with quite a sort of hit of tannin in the mouth after you swallow it. So yeah, all that would be washed away by a big steak. A bit of game wouldn't hurt it. Venison, that sort of thing. I think that's a really well made, interesting Grenache, and I think it's a wine that defines the variety. So I'm very tempted to make that a daily drinker red. It's a lovely thing. There we are, 2016 Grenache Paradou. There'll be more information about it on the Daily Drinker website, but a lovely thing.